Congratulations!
Welcome to the Know. I'm Brian.
I'm Ben.
So, Fallout 76 having a bit of a problematic start.
They had a rough start, and then I think it's just gotten lower and lower and lower on this sinking ship.
Yeah, so let's start off talking about sales. Now, we only have the UK physical copy sales, but they are down 80% compared to Fallout 4. Actually, more than 80%. Fallout 4 outsold Fallout 76 by 82.4%. It debuted in the UK charts at number 3, outsold by the Spyro Reignited trilogy, which came in at number 1. Yeah. But it's not just sales. It looks like people are not pleased. The ones who bought it. You might have seen that video of the dude trashing the GameStop.
Oh, he goes all out. There's some
when
poor
he didn't get a refund.
that just walks in. Is like, I don't know what's going on. For all I assume, he was there to pick up his copy of Fallout 76. But
at
that
least
guy
he
went
could have warned
berserk.
him. Yeah. And I was reading the comments, and mostly you would expect people to be like, "Oh, that guy's a dick," da 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 da. And there was some of that, but other commenters were like, "I kind of get where he's coming from."
Yeah.
It is getting a lot of bad reviews on stuff like Metacritic. Fans claim, I think number 1, buggy, feels unfinished, nothing to do, which are not 3 things you want in your starter game.
Absolutely. So to play devil's advocate just a little bit here, I think comparing Fallout 76 sales to Fallout 4 sales, that's kind of to be expected that it would be lower. Bethesda is trying something new. They're trying their MMO, it's not even fair to call it an MMO, they're games as a service style of Fallout.
I guess so.
It's something new, so I think fans that know Bethesda has those single player experiences they don't want to necessarily dive into. I don't think that excuses how bad this game is doing and why it's doing as poorly as it is.
I don't know how these games launch in 2018 after all the years and years of examples we've had with no content, with nothing for people to do. Like, what do you expect? Of course people are going to get mad.
That's the biggest thing here is I feel like there's a lot of companies that are seeing things like, maybe Minecraft is the core of it all, and Minecraft did really well, but there's these other games that almost get skinned as you can do anything, you create the adventure. But they're not fun, and that's not what you go to those games for.
To me, that feels like going to a concert and the singer points the mic at the crowd to have the crowd sing the chorus. Like, no. I don't want to hear you. I came to hear you. You're the goddamn pro in the band.
Yeah, and I think there's just some stuff here that is, I don't know. Like, I could see, once again, I like to play the devil's advocate side, right? See like what maybe they would have been going for, and it just isn't panning out. Like, I see how this could maybe be something really cool down the line, but at the start, like, it's just not worth it.
It is not looking good. And it feels like one of those things where if they don't write this soon, we're looking at maybe the big bomb of the year. There are some other stats. The Twitch viewers numbers are down. GetHype reports that when Fallout 76 launched, it peaked at 106,000 concurrent viewers. That's down 42% from the beta, down 56% compared to Fallout 4, which peaked at 243,000 concurrent viewers 3 years ago. So not as many people watching it.
I think the hype behind the game for the beta is what pulled those numbers up.
Yeah.
And we've seen since the beta stopped and since the game launched, new games have come out that are way more interesting and way more, fun to watch. And we've seen just people are kind of understanding what this game is.
I also wonder if people feel ripped off because this is a full-priced game.
I think that's a big part of it.
Yeah.
It's a, $60 price point? And I think if they had sold it at a lower price at maybe 40 or 30, maybe it would have done a little bit better.
Maybe a little benefit of the doubt, maybe?
It would have a little bit. I think I've been a little bit of room to say, okay, sure, it's a $30, $40 game. I think I will drop money on this, or maybe the next time there's a sale, it'll be something fun to dive into and see what's going on with the game. $60 is a lot, especially with there's so much other games in the market fighting for that $60 price point.
Yeah, and there's nothing worse, as I've always said, than paying $60 and feeling like you got ripped off.
Absolutely, and we've seen things like, you can expect some glitches with a Bethesda game.
You can? I haven't heard that.
It's it's a fact. Bethesda has buggy games,
Yes.
but on the scale of 3 players drop a nuke at once and the whole server gets kicked, that's a little much.
Let's talk about that. One of the coolest things you can do, to me it seems like, in this early iteration of the game, is to launch a nuke. So they tried to do a 3 nuke, like a triple nuke launch, and the fucking servers crashed and they got kicked from the game. So you couldn't even do that.
Which, from what I understand, like the whole point of launching these nukes is one, to like blow up your enemy's bases,
Sure.
but also it spawns like these in-game monsters that you can get sweet loot from. That's great, but if someone's trying to farm that loot, or if you can even convince everybody, like, hey, let's get to a shelter, drop these nukes, and then go out and farm this like
Yes.
sweet loot. Oh no, we can't because the servers have just been wiped.
Maybe that guy who crashed the GameStop was one of the people who tried to launch the nukes.
He knew.
And got kicked off. He's like, no, I want a refund.
If I can't get a refund, I'm ruining this for everybody.
I'm going to nuke this fucking GameStop right now.
Oh my god.
It does not look great. And it does feel like this is the worst possible outcome for this game, because I think going in, a lot of people are like, what is this game about? What is there to do in the game? You want people to go into that and think, you know what, but I got in and there was surprisingly a lot of content, or I enjoyed this and this. And there doesn't, it does have some defenders, I'm sure, but the majority seems to be people going, what the fuck?
I find this to be super fascinating. I've kind of jumped into like comments to see people like who's defending it and who's not. I think it's really interesting. Anybody that's playing solo is not enjoying the game at all. A lot of those people, and they kind of said this, people that are playing this game with friends and creating their own adventures, that's kind of been the main proponent of this is a good game or this is a fun game. But I don't think that's enough, and I don't think that's necessarily a good excuse.
No, also there are lots of games you can play with your friends. Like,
Absolutely.
That's not your game. That's just you enjoyed playing with friends, I think, on some level. So we will see how this shakes out in the coming weeks. Reviews are starting to come in too. They don't have a ton yet, but what they do have is not great.
All the reviews are reviews in progress.
It is currently, and this is just a handful of critic reviews right now. Metacritic just has 10. Well, it says based on 7 critics, actually, a 46.
What's it sitting at, like score-wise, out of 10? 2.7, I'm seeing?
2.7 user score. Yes, not
great.
Is this a joke? No NPCs can uninstall the game. 1 million bugs. Same graphics of old games like Fallout 4. It's just.
Yeah, and we've seen some cool things where people playing have been like role-playing NPCs for like new players dropping in.
That's cool.
Those are the cool stories that I'm seeing out of this that makes me think like, okay, maybe this will be fun. Right. But also, I don't want to dive in solo, and even if I get like a group together, I have to coordinate those schedules and figure out when you guys want to jump into the wasteland. And okay, this is kind of mediocre, whatever.
The Guardian said in its review, previous Fallout games have always had something to say about the post-apocalypse and the human factors that led to it. Here, it's reduced to shooting mutants and picking up rubbish. Even if in the future it mutates into something more stable, it will still feel eerily soulless. Ouch.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see if Bethesda can No Man's Sky this and maybe pull something out with updates down the line, or maybe they'll get some kind of roadmap going and see, like, here's all this cool new content that we have coming down the line, which I think is kind of their only plan they can do to pull this out from where it currently is.
Yeah, I think so. Otherwise, it's not looking good. So we'll see. What do you guys think? Have you guys played it? If so, definitely sound off in the comments. We want to hear from you. Do you feel ripped off? Do you feel like it has potential? Let us know, and we'll see you later.